All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how it's never been fair, all right? When it comes to life in general on this earth, right? It's never been about fair. It's always been about who Yahweh wants to have something and who he does not want to have something. Now, let me. I know what I want to say. I just saw something and it made me think about how it's never been fair, right? And how not every single person in this earth is equal. But people would understand that not everyone's equal when it comes to being tall, being rich, being handsome, right? For women being beautiful, for women having a naturally attractive body type that men would desire. You know what I mean? People would understand that it's not fair and that everyone's not equal in that regard, especially when it comes to men. Women kind of still try and act delusional when it comes to how women are not all equal, and every woman would say that I'm a 10 because you got to have confidence, as if confidence changes how a woman looks rather than humility. Humility actually makes a woman more attractive to a certain degree, but it's not a miracle. You know what I mean? But let's go to this. Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 23. Thus saith Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Now, when it comes to physical strength and stuff like that in particular, and when it comes to the facial structure that a man might have or the facial structure that a woman might have, there's only so far you can naturally go to change your face, right? If you want your face not to be as round, you can lose some body fat. Then your face will be more chiseled as a man, right? If you have if you change your beard, it might slightly change your face. If you can grow your hair, like growing your hair more or cutting it shorter, will change your facial structure to a certain degree. But if Yahweh has not made you be one of the more handsome men that he's created on the earth, then you're just not going to be. And you can try and run to Esau's witchcraft and all this cosmetic surgery and all that, but that's not still going to change things, right? Which is the reason why men more than women do not go and get cosmetic surgery. Women, they're down for any little thing to try and change things on their face, man. But then at the same time, they don't want to admit that men are better than them, really, right? Men are really better than women because the men that women think are super handsome have not did cosmetic surgery. They might have changed their teeth or something like that, or changed their haircut, started going gym. But most of those things are really natural things, you see? But when it comes to women, a lot of the things that they do are unnatural. They do unnatural things to try and become more beautiful, right? Neither let the mighty man glory in his might, let not the rich man glory in his riches. Some people are born into families where they get a heavy inheritance, man, and they're just born with a trust. And they just get a continual monthly allowance, right? That costs more. And their monthly allowance might be like 5 to 10 average people's yearly salary. But that's what they're getting just to spend in a month. That happens, man. Is that fair? Is that fair? I guess we could say no, because it's not nothing that person that's born, excuse me, it's not nothing that person that's born did to get that access to that wealth. That it wasn't because of their hard work, right? But then guess what? If a man's born 6'8", and whenever he walks down the street, women are all flabbergasted. Oh wow, he's so handsome. I like his dress, and the man might be handsome, right? That don't mean that you're a homosexual if you acknowledge that, because the scriptures say that Absalom was the most handsome man among Israel, right? Some men are more handsome than others. If you don't believe me, women will tell you. Do you know what I mean? The way our women treat different men, the way our women treat certain men is different, right? If Drake's walking down the street or Chris Brown, women are going to be screaming, stopping him every 10 seconds to get an autograph, right? But if it's just an everyday man walking down the street, mate, they might walk dead center in his path and make out like he don't even exist and like he's supposed to dive out of the way for them, right? They might act like that. But if it's a certain other people, they're not going to do that. Men, if there's a woman that's fat and ugly, right, they might not wait for her to get on a train first and let her get on first. But if it's a woman that's attractive and beautiful to them, they might let her go on first. You see what I mean? They might wait. Oh, you want to go on first, ma'am, and all that. But if it's a woman that they're like, I was waiting first, or if she starts stepping in front of me, hurry up, man, and they might curse her ass out. It's not nothing about fair in this world, man. Nothing's fair. It's never, excuse me, it's never been about no fair. And the reason why people are glorifying their wisdom, in their might, and in their riches, is because in some way they believe that they have some, right? Now, not every single person that glories in their might is actually a mighty man. They might just be a bully that only tries to act tough to people that are weaker than them, right? But they might not really ever dare to try and test their might against another man of equal or greater strength. They might never dare that. Yet they still glory in it though, because that's the thing that they have the most of in this world. But the point I'm trying to make in this video is it's never been about fair. It's not nothing to do with no fair, man. And women will acknowledge that, and they'll say about men, you're not that guy, right? So you ain't gonna get treated the same kind of way. You're just not that guy, and fair enough. But then they won't accept it from the woman's side that you're not that woman. You see what I mean? Not every woman gets treated the same. Some women get taken on dates. Some women get taken to the McDonald's drive-thru and they're expected to pay. Some women don't get taken on a date nowhere and the man just shows up at their house. Ain't got nothing to do with no fair, right? Fair ain't got nothing to do with none of this down on this earth, man. It's about what Yahweh chose for somebody to go through. That's what it's always been about. Romans chapter 11 and verse... In fact, let me start at verse 1. I say the truth in a Mashiach, I lie not. Romans chapter 9 and verse 1. I say the truth in a Mashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bear me witness in the Holy Spirit that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from my Mashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh, and the promises. Now, is that fair that the Israelites have got all that? Because was it the Israelites' hard work that made them get these things? No, it was not, right? Is it a man's hard work? I'm talking about in the heavenly realm now. Is it a man's hard work that made him become rich? Some people are going to say, yes, it is. But really, no, it's not, right? Because for every single Tyson out there, for every single Michael Jordan out there, Yahweh made others, but only some ended up being the ones that went there, right? Because Yahweh decided that that person's going to beat. And Mike Tyson himself has said, there's other people out there in the world that would be able to do what I've did, but you just don't know who they are. And people that don't believe that's the case are stupid. And they ain't real, man. Because as much as people hype up Mike Tyson and how he was this and how he was that, he lost to Evander Holyfield twice. Or maybe even more times. But then Evander Holyfield lost to James Toney. And James Toney lost to Roy Jones Jr. But Roy Jones Jr., right, had an exhibition fight against Mike Tyson when they were older and couldn't do nothing. You see what I mean? Roy Jones, Tyson lost to Lennox Lewis, but Lennox Lewis lost to Hakeem Rahman. But Hakeem Rahman, I don't believe would be able to have beat Tyson. Muhammad Ali lost to Larry Holmes, right? But Larry Holmes ended up getting beat by Mike Tyson. Evander Holyfield beat George Foreman, but George Foreman beat Joe Frazier, but Joe Frazier got beat by Muhammad Ali, and George Foreman got beat by Muhammad Ali as well. But Muhammad Ali lost to Larry Holmes. You see what I mean? Like the mighty man thing, it's ultimately always who Yahweh decides to have win. Tyson Fury beat every single other heavyweight, but he couldn't beat Alexander Usyk though. Right? He ain't beat him. But he was boasting before that, saying no man born from his mother's CUNT could beat me. Well, that's obviously not true, is it? That's obviously not true, because you got beat by a man that was born from a mother. Like everyone's born from a mom. And he was close to losing in other situations too. He was close to losing to Deontay Wilder. If people are going to tell the truth. Now, if we're going to lie, then now he just flattened him every single fight. He didn't just flatten him in that first fight. Oh, but he had time off, blah, blah. It don't matter. It don't matter, man. He also started boxing from a hell of a lot younger than Deontay Wilder started doing boxing. But there's spiritual reasons as to why Deontay Wilder ended up losing that glory of the right hand that Yahweh gave him anyway, because he was committing adultery, man, with his own brother's wife. So Yahweh drained him of his strength. That's what I think happened. Right, back to this. Verse 2, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow, for I could wish that myself were accursed from a Mashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, the old one, and the new one, and the giving of the law. The giving of the law under the old covenant, where, okay, this is the moral code on what you're supposed to do to make the Lord, that creator of this whole earth that you see. This is the moral code that you have to do in order to be able to rule the whole earth. None of the other nations knew about that at that time, right? And even now, still that they know about it, they still don't have the same contract by where if they keep the law, it means the same as if we keep it. If we keep the law, it means more than if the heathen keep the law. It just does. Just like how if your kids are good and listening to what you say, right, it means more than if somebody else's kids are doing good and listening to what you would say, because they ain't your kids, so I ain't getting no benefit out of this. You ain't never my kid. If some other kid in some next house that you don't know hears you say to your kids, go and clean your room, and they go home and clean it, that don't mean nothing to you. That don't mean nothing to you. Like, what? Yeah, okay, you cleaned your room, but that don't mean nothing for me though. That don't mean nothing to me. 1 second. Verse 5, who are the fathers and whom have concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who is over all, Yahweh blessed forever, amen. Yahweh Shai died for the Israelites, right? Is that fair that every other nation was technically not following the God's laws as well, right? But yet Yahweh sent Yahweh Shai to die for their sins, not for everyone's, for their sins. Because he didn't care about the other nations, man. Now people want to try and tell him, oh, you care about me. No, you don't, right? Just like how women would say you can't tell a woman what this and what that. Men can't make no woman love them, right? And women can't make no men love them neither, right? All these women wanting all this high value stuff that's been getting spoken about for a hell of a long time, right? Mate, you women ain't getting that guy. Sorry to burst your bubble. You ain't getting him. Like, you ain't settling for the other geezer neither, because he don't want you. That's how it's gonna start getting in this world. That man that you thought you were settling with, he don't want you neither, because he don't want to settle for you. Talking about your settling, that guy is going to start being like, man, I don't want you neither. Oh, he don't want you? Well, I don't want you either. You thought I did, but I don't. You thought you was going to be settling around over here. No, actually, you're not going to be. Because I don't want to deal with your problems. I got my own problems and my own stress. That's what them guys are going to start. Them guys that you even thought you were settling for, that's how they're going to start dealing with you. And that's a world that women have not seen yet. They haven't seen that world where the man that they think should be thanking his lucky stars to be dealing with her, that guy is going to be like, I don't want you neither. Verse 6, not as though the word of Yahweh have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So even being among the Israelites, the chosen nation, does not mean that you are the right Israelites. Right? Is that fair? No. Because it's about who Yahweh chose, man. It's about who Yahweh chose to get the things. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall the seed be called. Is that fair? Is it fair that Abraham had 8 children, yet only one of the children get the promise? And it's not even the first child that was born that gets the promise? Is that fair? Is it fair? No, it's not. But guess what? That's what's happening though. That's what happened. But is that fair? No, it's not. But who said anything about how Yahweh deals with things is fair? He can do what he wants to do. Right? That's what people don't understand. That's what people don't want to understand. He can do what he wants to do. Verse 8. That is they which are the children of the flesh. These are not the children of God. So, but Abraham is my father. You ain't one of the children of God. I don't care if Abraham be your father. You are not one of the children of God. Abraham is your father, but Yahweh ain't your father. But the children of the promise are counted for the seed. And who are the children of the promise? Well, it was Isaac after Abraham. Then it was Jacob after Isaac. Then it was the 12 tribes of Israel after Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Then within the 12 tribes of Israel, it's the elect, the 144,000 and a great multitude that have been alive. I mean, the 144,000 has been a thing that's consisted of many different generations, man. Whereas the great multitude is going to be that large group of people that get saved within the day of the Lord's wrath. That's what we believe. We don't believe that the 144,000 is just the end times thing. No, that's been through many times where the 144,000 have been and gone. Verse 8, that is they which are the children of the flesh are not the children these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. For this is the word of promise, at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but Rebekah also conceived by one, even by her father Isaac. Now, when it comes to this part in verse 9, where it says the word of promise, at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. Sarah only had one son, and that son was Isaac. Now, people can say, oh, nah, that's not true, all they want to say. But that's what it is, though. That's the truth of the matter. But people don't want to speak the truth, really. People get bothered by it, hearing the truth, man. It grieves them to hear the truth. You know what I mean? Hearing the truth gives most of these people the heebie-jeebies around here, man. They start thinking, oh, man, don't tell me what's true. Prophesy smooth things. Prophesy deceits. It ain't got nothing to do with no fair, man. There's women that go to the gym 6 days a week, right? And people might say, oh, why does it keep mentioning women? These are things concepts that men will understand. There's women that go to the gym 6 days a week, right? But there's a woman out there somewhere right now that don't go to the gym. She don't go to the gym, right? She don't care about going to the gym. And her face and her body looks healthier than the woman that's been going to the gym 6 days a week. And they might have not even ever went to the gym in their life or did any kind of fitness training once in their life. and their diet might not be the best neither. Same thing when it comes to men. There's men that go to the gym on a regular basis, but there's a guy out there that don't go to the gym, but he looks like he's been going to the gym damn near like hourly, because Yahweh just gave him naturally more of a muscular physique. That happens, man. But people don't want to accept that this happens, but it does happen. Now, are those things that I mentioned fair? Or is it just because of the selection process that Yahweh naturally just, well, randomly, according to what we would say, but of his own wisdom, chooses to do based on what he perceives he wants to do? Verse 11, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil. So when it comes to talking about Jacob and Esau, and people want to say, oh, God knew what he was going to do in the future. All right. But he also knew what Jacob was going to do in the future. And that doesn't mean that he didn't say he was going to love him. He knew that Jacob was going to betray his only begotten son. So all them people that try and say, oh, but Esau was loved less because God foresaw what he was going to do. Okay. So if God foresaw what Esau was going to do, you're trying to say he didn't also foresee what Jacob was going to do? All the times that Jacob was going to betray Yahweh's laws and get cast into different captivities. You're trying to say that? Didn't Yahweh say that Jacob was going to go into captivity in Egypt for 400 years before he ever did anything right or wrong? What did Yahweh foresee that Jacob was going to do to go through that? Because they didn't technically do anything wrong. The 12 tribes of Israel didn't do anything wrong to get into that captivity from what I've read in the scriptures. From what I've read in the scriptures, that was the only captivity that they actually went in that they didn't deserve for breaking any commandments, because they didn't even have the law them times. They didn't have the law written down anyway. They didn't have it in that method, right? They didn't have it in that way, in that regard, man. That was even before Moses that happened, where they ended up in that captivity, for them to end up in there. So all you people that want to try and come with that, oh, but God knew what Esau was going to do. He foresaw what he was going to do. Okay. And he foresaw what Jacob was going to do too then, right? He foresaw that Jacob was going to produce the nation that ended up betraying Yahweh, right? And that they would have chose Barabbas instead of him, yet he still said he's going to love them. So what do you get from that then? That is not fair, right? Herod was an Edomite, and he wanted to kill Yahweh, right? But guess what? The Israelites, they also wanted to get Yahweh. They also, the Pharisees, the different chief priests, they also wanted to get Yahweh out of there. And they were from the same nation as him, and his death was actually cleansing their sins too. You trying to tell me that God didn't know that was going to happen? Yeah, he still said, I love Jacob. So don't try it, man. All you Christians out there, don't try it with us, man. We know these scriptures better than you, and we've got a greater understanding of what's going on than you have. Y'all don't know what's really going on, man. Y'all are lost. Y'all doctrine's whack as hell, man. It don't make sense. But our doctrine, the more people try and question it, the more it makes sense. And if it don't make sense to them, it's because it's spiritually blocked from them being able to understand it anyway. They've got a spiritual block from them being able to understand this stuff. Verse 12, it was said unto her, in fact, no, back to verse 11, for neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works. And this is what people need to understand: not of works, but of him that calleth. It don't. You are not. There's not no work that no one's gonna do on this earth to make themselves be of the elect, if they previously was not of the elect. Neither is there any work that somebody can do to make themselves not be of the elect, if they are of the elect. Now, whether you are or are not of the elect, you do not know. But it says in the scriptures, give diligence to make thy calling and thy election sure. But the calling, the election, and the diligence that you would even do anyway was built into you. So you're gonna do that as a result of how Yahweh made you, not as a result of your own strength. It's gonna be the inbuilt faith that you was given, man, and that's why you cannot ignore the faith element of the scriptures, because eventually something's gonna be said that you cannot technically prove. Everyone that's into the scriptures, right? They all believe different, different ways how you can perceive the book of Genesis. Some people want to say, "Oh, it was a fruit. A fruit. It was an apple. It was in the Garden of Eden. It was in the Garden of Eden, and they ate an apple." All right, if you want to believe that, that's fine. Some people say, "Nah, it weren't that. It was a way of life that they was picking up." But can any of us technically prove that 100%? No, we can't. Some people want to say Adam was born of the ground that was the darkest ground that you can see. Some people want to say, "Oh, nah, he was from the lighter grounds." All right, well, believe which one you want to believe. I know what I believe, that it was the darker ground. But can we technically prove that? No, we can't. So it's about faith when it comes to that part, right? Some of us don't believe that the serpent in the Garden of Eden was a literal snake. We don't believe it was a snake going around. Okay, time to get these humans to eat this apple, and he slithers over. We don't believe that was what happening around there, man. But some people do, and they think, oh, the snake that was already designed to roll around on its belly anyway. Oh, he was cursed with going around on its belly, which is something that he was already doing anyway. But we don't believe that he's talking about it like that. We believe something else. It was said unto her, verse 12, it was said unto her, the elders shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Now, this is where Christian comes. Oh, it's because it doesn't mean hated, it means love less. Yeah, it's loved so much less. That is Obadiah verse 18 less. He loved him so much less that the Hebrew Israelites have got Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 10 to look forward to. Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 33 to look forward to, right? But the Edomites have got Obadiah, the whole book, especially verse 18 to look forward to. That's how much less it is. But nice try though. It was a nice attempt to try and escape judgment. Nice attempt, man. That must be that inbuilt blame shift mechanism that I've heard about so much. The inbuilt. I like that term, and too, that I heard from one of the elders' videos on this guy that people are saying might be an AI. He said that inbuilt blame shift mechanism, and that's the perfect way, or a great way to explain how Esau does things, man. The inbuilt blame shift mechanism. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I never did that. I wasn't even there them times. I wasn't there. Nah, it wasn't me. Nah, it weren't me. Never, never. That was the elites. That was my forefathers. Oh, but that was you got people in this world that they'll boast about being an Egyptian. I'm an Egyptian, but my mother's French. You know what I mean? I'm an Egyptian, but my mother's French. Oh, so you're saying that you belong to the people that put the Israelites in slavery? Oh, well, that was a long time ago. Well, those are different people than the people now. What are you on about? What are you on about? Are you an Egyptian or are you not? Are you an Egyptian or are you something else? You got people that will boast of their skin color being brown. See, my brother, he's even darker than me. He's brown. And then a so-called black man will come up to that same person talking about brown. What color am I then? Am I brown? Of course not, huh? What color are we then? Oh, you mean literally? Well, yeah. That's how colors work, mate. You're either literally a color or you're literally not that color. If we're talking the truth. Now, if we're talking this Esau, Babylonian, drunk with wine world, then you can say you're white when you're pink. But then if you're picking up crayons and somebody asks you to pick a white crayon and you pick up a red one, they're going to be like, what? You're dumb. You don't even know what red is. But then when it comes to skin color, you can be variable with it. Oh, well, I'm not technically white, and you're not technically, you know what I mean? But then when they want to try and come with the color scheme that really is the truth to suit themselves, then it's, oh, there's actually not a white and a black man. There's actually not any, I don't see color. I don't see color. What color shoes you got on? Oh, well, they're blue. Oh, so you do see color. You still are rich. You do, oh, so you do see color then. Oh, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Oh, you're just being ridiculous now. No, you are. You're being ridiculous now. And there's gonna come a time with all this slivery, sneaky speech that people have invented to try and escape judgment. The inbuilt blame shift mechanism. It ain't gonna work no more, man. The blame's coming right for you. And you ain't gonna be able to escape nothing. You're gonna have to deal with what you've done in the earth, man. You're gonna have to pay. You have to pay a heavy price, man, for all your wickedness out here. Verse 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is that unrighteousness with God? God forbid. And why is that unrighteousness with God? Well, it says it in the next verse. For he saith to Moses, I'll have mercy on whom I'll have mercy, and I'll have compassion on whom I'll have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, oh, I'm gonna go out today, you know like how people do it with into fitness. I'm gonna start training up to run a half marathon. All right, well, that's some worldly thing. And if Yahweh decides that you're not going to be able to do that, you ain't going to. You're going to start running, jogging, and your meniscus is going to start sounding like some Rice Krispies out here, man. And you're going to give up on that training, man. You're going to get some shin splints. You're going to flop that training. And you ain't going to be running nowhere but to the A&E. If Yahweh decides you ain't doing it, man. So then it's not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. So the salvation comes purely because Yahweh is having mercy on you. And everyone deserves, I mean, everyone needs mercy, right? But everyone is not going to get it though. And nobody deserves mercy. Yet some people are going to receive mercy, but nobody deserves it though. We don't deserve, if we get mercy from the Lord, just know we don't deserve that, right? We actually deserve to die, to be unalived, really. We don't deserve no mercy, man. But it's going to be because Yahweh decides to give it if you get it. Verse 17, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Esau was built up in order to be destroyed, so that Yahweh can show how great his power is. And all these nations that they want to boast about, they want to boast about these other nations and say, oh, we can defeat these people in this and in that. Yeah, but you Edomites, if every single Edomite agreed to be friends with each other, they'd be living peaceful on this earth right now. But Yahweh made them be such demons that they can't ever do that because they're always trying to seek to be number one. Whereas with our nation, we haven't always did that. We all of the tribe was able to just relax under the tribe of Judah during the time of Solomon, and they did the same thing also under King David. Now there was a little back and forth leading up to King David completely becoming king, but afterwards everyone got over that. And then when Solomon became king, they really got over it. I mean, every tribe was able to just settle down. This is our king, right? Okay, he's a different tribe, but we're all Israelites though. Whereas Esau, they can't do that, man. They're like, nah, them man are Russian over there. We don't F with that. We're trying to do an American thing over there. And then them man are small hats. So we know, we really know when we look at them that we don't see no difference between them and us. We already know what it is. But they're on that small hat way, so we don't really rock with that. But we'll vibe with them to a certain degree, but we still want to be the best of all though. That's how they do. We've really, through the scriptures, man, started to really understand you Edomites, man, and how you're stupid and how you're annoying. You Edomites are annoying, man. You're a real bunch of demons, man. And the scriptures have allowed us to understand you people a hell of a lot more. A hell of a lot more. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he hardeneth. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will? Nay, but O man, who art thou that replies against Yahweh? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why is thou made me thus? And you Edomites can be you can be as sad as you want that we're the chosen. You can cry, oh, if only Father Esau didn't sell the birthright and them sneaky Israelites didn't steal it. You can say it all you want. You can cry, weep and wail, gnash your teeth, throw sawdust on your head, throw soil. You can throw a whole 8-kilogram bag of compost on your head. You ain't getting the kingdom. You can do this. You can call upon spirits. You could even if he was able to try and get the Michael, the archangel, to come down from heaven and say and try and tell you that you're gonna get the kingdom instead of us, he'd be lying there, because the kingdom's ours, man. Whether you like it or not. Of course you don't, mate. You think we would like it if we was in your shoes and we was technically, we was firstborn, so we're supposed to get it. You think we'd like it? If I was an Edomite, I wouldn't like the Israelites neither. But I'm not an Edomite though. I'm an Israelite, and therefore I don't like Edomites either. Like I'm supposed to not like y'all, man. And don't try and misinterpret Deuteronomy 23:7 to make me like you neither. I don't have to love you. I don't have to love you. I don't have to like you, and I don't. Straight up. And just like how you don't like us, so don't try and cry and complain, because you don't like us either. That's what you're whinging for, man. Like you're just so desperate to love us. Hell out of here, man. Verse 21, have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make. In fact, verse 20, nay, but O man, who art thou that replies against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? And you Edomites like to complain about our doctrine, yeah? But you don't complain that Yahweh gave you the sword, though, do you? I've literally never seen one of you Edomites say that you wish that your forefathers didn't put the so-called black people and the Native Americans in captivity and kill them. I ain't never seen y'all say that. I've heard you say it wasn't me that did it, but I've never saw you say that you really wish that they just didn't do that and that they would have just came up with another way to get what they got. Because you love that they did that. You love it. That's one of your favorite things to think about, man, because you know that them people are better than you. And then when you look back at in your people's history and you're like, whoa, we was able to take these people down. And when you go to a basketball game and you see LeBron James do a crazy dunk, or Vince Carter, you know what I mean? When you see a Kobe, when you see a Shaq, you're impressed by what they do, but then you're even more impressed by your own people. You're like, man, we used to have these people in slavery. Wow, and we great. And then you still see that you're able to just go up to these people and be annoying to them, antagonistic, and they don't break your neck and bust your head open like they could do easily. And then you see that your little weasel Edomites have got them under demonic ass contracts, rinsing out their talent for their own financial gain. And they throw them a little billion, but they've made a hell of a lot more billions from it, from that basketball player's skills than they've made. You all understand that, right? You all understand that part of how is made. But then when it comes to you not being an Israelite, oh man, that's just not fair. But then you don't want to give up your portion where you've got an advantage so that everyone else can have a portion. So why should we as Israelites be so sad for you not being an Israelite? So what if you're not one, man? So what? Yeah, so what if you're not an Israelite? We are. That's what we care about. We're Israelites though. So forget y'all. Verse 21, have not the power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor. And that's what he's did. Y'all ain't got the honor. Y'all ain't got the honor, man. Forget y'all. Who cares, man? You are not the chosen. Simple as that. We are. And you can get as sad about it as you want. Oh man, why though? Why? Because we are, man. You got a problem with that? Try and do something about it then, and you'll just be kicking against the pricks. You'll be bashing your head against a stone, and you'll find out that the stone ain't going nowhere, man. You can cry, you can complain, say whatever you want to say, man. It's not going to stop nothing. Verse 22, what if God willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured in much long suffering the vessels of wrath fit to destruction? That's talking about you Edomites, man. All these things that you time where you thought you was getting away with it, and we're gonna build, right? We're Edomites, and we're saying that we're impoverished, but you know what? We're gonna rebuild the desolate places. You are gonna build them, but Yahweh's gonna throw it down, and after that, people are gonna call you the wicked, and the people that Yahweh's had indignation with forever because he made you to hate you. He's always like, there's never been a time he's like, oh, Esau, he cried about the birthright. I feel sorry for him. No, he always hated you. like that's a scary understanding to understand about Yahweh, that he literally made you all to hate you. Just like how he made the Israelites to love him. And that even when he was angered with the things that we did that were stupid and that were wicked, things that when we would have even copied you Edomites, he loved us though. And he made us to show what his mercy looks like, man. That's what y'all don't understand. That's what you don't understand, man. That's what none of you wacky ass Christians out there understand. You think everything's just equal? No, it's not, man. Ain't no equal around here, man. Ain't got no equal to do with nothing around here. That he might make known the riches of his long suffering, the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. He was made to be destroyed. Verse 23, and that he might make known the riches of his glory and the vessels of mercy, which he ever fore prepared unto glory, meaning that the Israelites was before prepared, they were made to one day receive the glory of being immortal, which is something that no other nation is going to have on this earth. Everyone wants to cry and quote John 3:16. The Israelites are the only ones that are receiving that everlasting life. They're going to be given the law perfectly in their mind, given a new body, a new heart, a new spirit, which is going to make them immortal. They're going to be free from the last enemy, which is death. The heathen nations, if you want to say that, if it makes you feel better, you can say that Esau's their enemy as well, and they're going to be freed from Esau being able to be their enemy because he's going to be destroyed one day. But they're not going to be freed from the last enemy, which is death. Death's always still going to be a everlasting reminder among their nation that they are not the same as the Israelite. Death's going to enter into their nation all the time because they're going to sin, then die. Sin, unalived, sin, unalived. Oh, I ate some pork. Okay, the wages of sin is death. Oh, I was covetous. The wages of sin is death. I had a mixed fabric. The wages of sin is death. I ate some prawns. The wages of sin is death. A false witness. The wages of sin is death. You know what I mean? It's going to keep happening. I ate some dog. The wages of sin is death. I got a tattoo. The wages of sin is death. I marred the corners of my head and I trimmed my beard unlawfully. The wages of sin is death, man. Adultery, the wages of sin is death. It's going to keep happening amongst their nation where when you look among our nation, no adultery, no covetousness, a new body, everlasting life. I started off in the kingdom. I was in my whatever age, but now my age has got 7 zeros at the end of it. And in another million years, my age is gonna have another million added to it. You know what I mean? And it's gonna get to the point where we don't look at the world the same way no more because we've just seen so much. You know what I mean? We're gonna have just seen so much, and yet at the same time, not really seeing everything because Yahweh is gonna continually give the Israelites even more and more and more to see in his vast creation that he's made, that we don't even know the depths of the earth yet. Never mind the universe, man. And it brings joy to my heart to know that you Edomites ain't going to get to see none of that. You ain't going to get to find out about any of that things. You're thinking about asteroids that have got minerals on them and all. Don't worry about that. You don't even need to worry about anything to do with that. You ain't the person that's been designed to know anything about whether you can or can't do them things. Don't even worry your head with that. Just get ready, man, for Obadiah. That's all y'all need to do. Try and come and take the Israelites out. You're going to try and do whatever you're going to try and do. And it's going to lead to Yahweh Shai coming back. That's what's going to be happening. But anyway, I just wanted to go into how it's never been about fair down here, man. It's not, the scriptures have got nothing to do with being fair. And people can understand that when it comes to certain earthly things. But then when it comes to heavenly things, they expect that everyone's equal in God's eyes. And it's not the case, because God's the reason why people on this earthly way are not even equal in the first place. And on that, I'm going to say shalom.